Hey, what's up guys, Tiger Flash here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to install Windows 10 on a 2012 and later MacBook or pretty much any Mac computer. So actually, to be able to install Windows 10 on a Mac, you need a MacBook 2015 and later, a MacBook Air 2012 and later, a MacBook Pro 2012 and later, a Mac Mini 2012 and later, an iMac Pro, any models, and a Mac Pro which is 2013 and later, so the like trash canning Mac Pro. So to perform this process, you need a USB key, 8 GB or more. This is actually an 8 GB, and you need your MacBook or any Mac. So first of all, you will insert the USB key in the USB port of the computer. Once this is done, you will see the USB key up here, and you can open Disk Utility. So I did Command and Spacebar at the same time to open Spotlight, or just press Spotlight and type Disk Utility right there. So you can actually press here and open Disk Utility. And here you can see an external, you have your external hard drive, and you can show all devices. And here you want to choose like not the first one in external, but like the smaller one. So here, this is my USB key, install OS 6 Yosemite. So it's an old USB key, and I want to erase it, and I want to format it in here MDOS FAT. So you want to format it in MDOS FAT, and we're gonna call it, like, for example, DDA. I don't know why, but any name. And you will press erase. Doing this, you will lose everything on the USB key, of course. So here you erase the USB key, and now it's going to erase it and put it back in the good format to perform this procedure. So now it has not worked, so let's do it again. Okay, so it had an issue, so let's erase it again. Untitled MDOS FAT. So here's again the same one, and erase. And as you can see, this time it worked. So now the key is titled Untitled. Okay, so once this is done and you have your USB key formatted, you want to go on the web. So here it's open, for example, Google Chrome, and you want to type Windows 10 ISO, just like this, and press enter. And now you will go here, ISO, and here you are on the official Microsoft page, and you want to select an edition, so Windows 10 latest update, confirm, and now you're going to choose a language, so for example English, and you will confirm. And here you're going to choose 64-bit download. So I won't do it because I already did it. So now you're going to wait for the download, and it's going to appear probably in your download folder. And for me, it's right there. So once this is done, you're going to want to do Command and Spacebar again, and you want to write boot. And as you can see, put a C. So I mean, I just want to show you that you need this Boot Camp Assistant. So you just want to open it, and now you're gonna continue. So now it's gonna erase some things, and you want to make sure that all three are checked. So the first one is to have a Windows 10 ISO file. Yeah. The second one is to have like Apple doing updates, so Windows 10 will be compatible with the computer that you're using. And the third one is to install like Windows 10 updates. So yeah, you want to continue. And here you want to pick up the ISO file. So just to make sure, you're going to choose, just to be sure it's the good one. And for me, it's on the desktop. It is this one. So this is the ISO file, and I want to open it. And the USB key, as you can see, I'm going to press it. And it looks like I cannot do anything with it. But as you can see, Lexstar USB flash drive media disk 2. And let's press continue. And now the disk will be erased. We know it. Continue. And now it's going to actually format the drive. As you can see, it was the good one. It disappeared. And the drive is now doing things. So this step can take anywhere from like 5 minutes to like half an hour, depending on the speed of your drive and all the things that you selected. And yeah, let it do its thing and come back later. Okay, so actually now it's done. I had to do it again because my USB key was too small at 8 gigabytes. So yeah, I would advise using a 16 gigabyte key or more just to be safe. And now it's done with this is a 32 gigabyte USB 3.0. And as you can see now, you can choose the space that you want to give to macOS and to Windows. So for me, I'm going to give 140 gigabyte to Windows, so it will let me around 300 gigabytes for macOS. So this is pretty much what I want. Or maybe I will give it like 130 just to play it safe with macOS. So yeah, 130 Windows and 308 for macOS. And now you just press install and it's going to install it. So now that you've pressed install, you will have to type your administrator password. So I'll do it right now. And then you press OK. So now what it's basically doing, it's partitioning the hard drive. So it may take a while, it may not. So let it do its thing and I'll come back later. So just to show you, it asked me to put my administrator password a few more times and now it's rebooting the computer. That's normal, let it do its thing. Okay, so as you can see by the little dot like mark here, it's actually now booting into Windows. So it took around for me it took around a minute to partition the hard drive because there was basically nothing on it and it's a pretty fast SSD. So yeah, it was not really long, but I saw some comments that it can take up to an hour. So yeah, now it's booting into Windows. Okay, so around 3 minutes later for me, I'm here into the Windows settings. So you have to choose a language. So I'm gonna choose French Canadian, for the hour, the time. So I choose also French Canadian. And the keyboard, I chose Canadian, this keyboard, but I can change later if I made a mistake because I'm not sure. So now that I've pressed next, it's asking me for a product key. So now I'm going to say that I don't have a product key. And now actually you don't really need a product key to do this. You can actually run forever without any product key whatsoever. The product key is just there to allow for modification and preference settings and for example changing the background, changing the color of the icons, etc. So it's not really needed. So I don't have a product key. And now you have to choose your Windows edition. So I'm going to choose Windows 10 Pro. So there you go. Next. And now pretend that you've read that. You accept, and next. Okay, so now you have to make sure that it's on the drive where it's written bootcamp and where you have the most gigabyte, as you can see. Not the most, but where you have the number that you've allowed for Windows. So it's basically the bootcamp partition. And now you will have to press next. And now it's copying the Windows file. So let it do its thing. It's pretty easy to follow because of the numbers written here. So let it do its thing and come back later. Okay, so the computer rebooted 5 to 10 times and now it's here at the setup page. So you choose your country, normal setup. So I'll let you do this. Okay, so now that you've entered all your data and that you actually started Windows, you have to configure a password for your session. And now I just entered the session and I just connected to Wi-Fi. As you can see here, I'm connected. And now you have Bootcamp Assistant that is open and you will do next. So now pretend that you've read it. You do install. Is it lagging? Yeah, install. And then you have to wait for it to install. Okay, so once the Bootcamp Assistant has finished doing its thing, you can press on finish. And now it's gonna reboot the system. So yes, the USB key is still in for now. And it's rebooting the system. So just a little disclaimer I wanted to say. At any time of the installation process, if the computer freezes, you can always restart it by pressing the power button and option key and selecting the Windows partition to boot. So it will actually restart the process and it's gonna work. Because if it's frozen and you just press power button, there's a lot of chances that it's gonna boot into macOS and you won't be able to install Windows. So make sure that if it crashes or if it's freeze, you can either restart it by pressing here and the option key. Okay, so now it has just rebooted, and as you can see, it's a normal session from Windows 10. That's really cool. And now you type in your password. There you go. Okay, so now you can eject the USB key, and I'm going to show you how to install a few programs that I really like for for Windows on Mac. Okay, so first of all, I think that the base drivers for a trackpad are pretty bad. Like if you scroll down, it's like very touchy, and I don't like that. So I'm going to download better drivers. So I'm going to put this link in the description below, and you will need to press here. The first one is going to download it. So there you go. And now, as you can see, the file will be in my downloads folder. So I'm going to go there, downloads, put the file here. And now we're gonna unzip it. So just double click. And now you will press here, unzip the file, just like this. And it's going to go on the desktop. Yes, unzip. And there it is. You're gonna press on drivers, AMD 64. And then once the file is open, you will want to press here on AMD PTP device, the one with this little symbol that's in gray. And you're gonna right click on it and press install. And now you press open. And now yes. And now it's done. So to make sure that it's done, you wanna go in your settings, right there. And you want to go here, peripherals, and you want to go in trackpad. And now, as you can see, you have your gesture just like macOS, which you didn't have before. And now the trackpad is really less touchy. As you can see, a little movement is a little movement. Okay, so then you want to download Mac Fan Control, which is another application that I really like for Macs, because Macs tend to run very hot on when it's running Windows 10 because of the poor driver that it has, and then the fan basically starts at like 95 Celsius, which is unacceptable to me. So you just write Mac Fan Control, so your Mac will run cooler, and so it will be less likely to be damaged because of heat. And you want to go on the official website of Mac Fan Control. Okay, so yes, sorry, the good link is actually this one. So Crystal LED, this one. And now you press download for Windows. There you go. And now it's downloading for Windows, just like this. And now it's checking for viruses. And I just click on it, and it's opening. So you say yeah. And then you press next. Pretend that you've read. Next, 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 and install. As you can see, it's installing. And now we just press done. You press yes. And now it's starting the application. Okay, so once the application is open, you want to press here, control, and personalize. And here what you want to do is here, value, base here, on CPU core 1 or CPU core average. I'm going to choose average. And you put that a fan will ramp up from, I would say, around 50 degrees. And the temperature max is actually 99 degrees. Just like this. And you say yeah. And now, as you can see, the fan is ramping up. If you want the fan to be a bit softer, so you can just change it. And so let's say, for example, like 65 would be also a good value. I'm gonna put 55 here, just to make sure. And you see it slowed down just a bit. Okay, so once this is done, you will close the window just like I did, and you will actually just shut off the computer. So now you will want to turn back on the computer and press power and the option key. Yet again, for maybe one last time. And you will wait to see Windows and Mac OS, as you can see, and you will choose Mac OS to go back into Mac OS. Okay, so once you're back in Mac OS, you can actually trash the ISO file, just like this. And you want to go here into settings, system preference. Okay, so once you're in system preference, you actually want to go here into startup disk. And as you can see, there will be two startup disks. So now the start of this is Windows Bootcamp. So that means that every time I shut off the computer and I just press the power button without pressing the option key, it's gonna go into Windows. But that's not what I want. I actually want the computer to still go in macOS when I just press the power button. So here I'm gonna press here, enter my admin password, and I'm going to change it to macOS SSD. Just like this. Now I'm going to just close this. So now you've chosen macOS and restart. So it's gonna restart into macOS every time I just press the power button. Okay, so now as you can see, I just pressed the power button without pressing the option key and it's booting into macOS. So as you can see, it will boot into macOS each time that you just press the power button. But what if you want to go back into Windows? So for me, I go more frequently in macOS. That's why I put back macOS as my startup disk. But here, if I want to go into Windows, it's easy. Just press the power button and the option key. And now it will have the option to choose between macOS and Windows. And even though if you choose Windows right there, next time that you will shut off the computer and power it back on, it's gonna go back in macOS because macOS is the default startup disk like we just chose. So now if I go into Windows by using the arrow and I press enter, as you can see, it's gonna enter into Windows normally, just like a Windows computer. So as you can see, Windows is starting and boom, we're into Windows. So I will wait a bit just to show you that it's working normally. And boom, we're now into Windows in 1, 2, 3, now, boom, we're into Windows. So now if I do my things in Windows and I shut off the computer and I restart it just by using the power button, it's gonna go back into macOS. So yeah, that was it for Windows installed on Macs, so 2012 to the newest model. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And without further ado, I'm out. Let's see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.